Hello viewers, we're looking at locating points or plotting points on the Cartesian or coordinate plane. So we have this plane surface and we have the x and y axis intercepting each other at the point called the origin. Location, x equals 0 and y equals 0. When we have the coordinates in a pair of brackets like this, we refer to it as an ordered pair. Ordered meaning we want to have x first and then y. And these are the four quadrants that the x and y axis divide the coordinate plane into. Now we always start at the origin 0, 0. And for point A, to get to point A, starting at the origin, to move from 0 for the x coordinate, to get it to be 4, we have to add 4. For the y coordinate, to move from 0 to 6, we have to add 6. So what this means, from the origin, we shift 4 units to the right. Since we're adding, we move to the right in terms of the x direction. When we go in the positive directions, we go 4 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're here. And then the y coordinate, we move 6 units upwards. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've shifted 4 to the right and 6 upwards, and so we're right here. So this is the point we're looking for. And so this is point A. Its location, 4 on the x-axis and 6 on the y-axis. Now we're looking at point B. Its location is 1, 1. So again, we start where? At the origin. To move from 0 to 1, we need to add 1. And to move from 0 to 1, we also add 1. Adding 1 to the x-coordinate means we shift 1 unit to the right. And adding 1 to the y value means we shift 1 unit upwards, since it's positive direction in the y direction. So we go 1 to the right and 1 up, located right here. And so that will be our point B. Its location, 1 for x and 1 for y. Let's look at the next point, point C. Again, we start at the origin at 0, 0. And since we want to get to 6, we're going to add 6 units to the x-coordinate of 0. And to get to the y-coordinate of 4, we're going to add 4 to the y-coordinate of 0. And so that means we're shifting 6 units to the right on the x-axis. This will give us our x-coordinate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 4 units upwards. Once y is positive, we go upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our location. And so C is located at 6 on the x and 4 on the y. Again, for D now, we're going to start at the origin. And to get to 4, 0, we only add 4 to the x-coordinate of 0 on the origin. But notice that we already have 0 for the y-coordinate. We do not add any value to 0. So we stay at 0. So we'll only shift to the right for the x-coordinate. So we move from the origin and we shift 4 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, we do not move in terms of the y coordinate. And so this will be our point for point D. So point D is located at 4 for the x coordinate and 0 for the y coordinate. We did not move up or down based on the origin. And recall that any point found on the x-axis, y would be 0. If we shift up or down, then we're moving off the x-axis. So any point found on the x-axis indicates only a shift in the x-coordinate and no movement in the y-coordinate. In fact, the x-axis is the line y equals 0. So the equation of the x-axis can be considered to be y equals 0. So now let's look at point E. We need to add 6 to 0 to get it to be positive 6 for the x-coordinate. Remember, for the y-coordinate, we either move up or down. So to get a negative 4, we need to move down 4 units. In other words, we subtract 4. So we're going to move 4 units downwards. We start at 6. And we move 6 units to the right, and then we're going to shift 4 units downwards. And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is our location, the location for point E. And point E is located at 6 in reference to the x coordinate and negative 4 in reference to the y coordinate. Let's look at point F. Again, we start at the origin. And since positive 1, we only shift 1 unit to the right. And since negative 1, we shift 1 unit downwards. So point F, we start at the origin and we shift 1 unit to the right and then 1 unit down. So this is our point F, located at 1, negative 1. Point G, starting out at the origin again, we're going to shift 4 units to the right since it's positive and 6 unit downwards since the y coordinate is negative. So we go 4 to the right and 6 unit downwards. This is our point G. For point H, again, we start at the origin. Okay, so for the origin, the x-coordinate is 0. But for point H, the x-coordinate is also 0. So we're not going to add or subtract anything from 0. Keep it as 0. And for the y-coordinate, though, to move from the y-coordinate of 0, we need to subtract 4. So we're going to move 4 units downwards, in other words. And so we're going to start from the origin, and we're going to not move in terms of the x-coordinate left or right. We're going to maintain the position for x. And we're going to shift 4 units downwards. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. This is the point we're looking for. That's point H, and its location is 0, -4. Now, in reference to point I, starting out at the origin again. So from the origin, x is 0. We're going to shift left, actually, since x is negative. So we're going to shift 4 units to the left. So remember, once you're going to the right, x is positive. Once you're going to the left, x is negative. So we're going to shift 4 units to the left. And for the y-coordinate, moving up or down, in this case, down because the y-coordinate is -6. So we're going to shift 6 units downwards. So starting at the origin, we shift 4 units to the left, and then how many units downwards? 6 units downwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the location at -4, -6. Point I, -4, -6. Let's look at point G. And again, we are at the origin. With the origin, starting at origin. To get x-coordinate of -6, we need to move 6 units to the left. So we're going to subtract 6 from the x-coordinate. And the y-coordinate is -4, so we need to subtract 4 from the origin. And so, in other words, we're moving 4 units downwards. So 6 to the left in the x direction and 4 downwards in the y direction. So we're going to go 6 to the left and then 4 units downwards. So we're right here. That's -6, -4. That's our point G. All right, so we know with point K, and we start at the origin. Well, the first coordinate, x-coordinate, is -4. To move from the x-coordinate of 0, which is at the origin, by shifting 4 units to the left. And since the y-coordinate is 0, we do not shift up or down. So we're going to shift 4 units to the left from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in the x direction. And we do not move in terms of the y direction. So this is a point we're looking for in terms of point K. Point K is -4, 0. Now let's look at point L. It's -6, 4. So the x-coordinate at the origin is 0. And we want to shift in the x negative direction. So that's -6. And in the terms of the y, we want to move from 0 to +4. We're going to add 4. If the y, we either move up or down. Shifting 6 units to the left, we go 6 units to the left. That lands us right here. And then we want to move 4 units upwards in terms of the y direction, +4 units upwards. And so we're here. And so the location that we're at is L, where x equals -6 and y being 4. Location of M is -1, 1. Again, from the origin, we move 1 unit to the left in terms of the x-coordinate. And in terms of the y-coordinate, we add 1. We go 1 unit upwards. So 1 unit to the left and then 1 unit upward. That's where point M will be. And so point M will be -1, 1. Looking at point N, we have to shift from the x-coordinate of 0, shift 4 units to the left. In terms of the y-coordinate being 0 from the origin, we move for 6 units upwards. And so 4 to the left and 6 units up, we'll have -4, 6. In terms of point O, -4, -4. Well, we started at 0, 0. And so we shift 4 units to the left and 4 units downwards. Since the y direction is downwards, x direction, it will be left. 4 to the left in reference to the x-coordinate and 4 downwards in reference to the y-coordinate. So this is our location, -4, 4.